Mr. Brown.
All right. Another fucking day under the goddamn sun. We come into this world as children, not knowing shit. We're innocent. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to do it. We don't have a grasp or understand of the economic, social society that we live in. We don't know anything. And you're going to have to be manipulated, persuaded, told, regulated. You're going to be put in a place where you have no control, zero control of what you take in. Throughout life, what you're going to end up doing is creating your own understanding of the world based on a foundation that you didn't set. And once you understand that message alone, you'll understand that you have to shatter and detach from all things that you have learned already and reconstruct them as your own. You're a spiritual being living a human experience. When you get to that deep of a level of understanding, once you reach there, you will know that the things that you feel and go through on this physical plane are not the field and things that you will go through on the next plane, nor was it on the plane before you got here. Let's think of society. Society on a whole is just the social average norm, not the extremes, not the entrepreneurs, not the people on the side of the road that chant some shit. The middle, what is accepted by everybody. Okay, cool. Once you know you live in a society like that, you should understand that there's going to be a shit ton of rules that you can either follow or not follow. You have to understand that rules are there to be followed. Yes. Must you follow them? No. But there are repercussions and consequences when you do not follow the rule, right? So you have to deem and understand which rules you want to break and what consequences you're willing to go through once you break them, because there's no coming back once you break them or are caught breaking them. And I think that goes across all realms for me. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm on that other extreme where I don't believe that these societal norms should be inflicted on or imposed on anybody. So I'm going to break the rules just because that's already the life I live, breaking the rules. So understand that there are consequences to breaking the rules. However, the rules were set in place by the standardized average norms. That is society. You also want to understand where you start to place yourself within that society. So where do you currently put yourself? You might be a strapping young man that is trying to be in the financial district, that is going into a big city, that lives in a small box in an apartment, that hasn't traveled much, but because your parents put the title of you need to be in the financial sector, you went with it, and now your dreams are really to be an artist or a painter, but you're in some high-level exec job that's paying you a shit ton to live in your little shithole box in the middle of the city. That might be your life. And with that life, you have to understand, if you're living that life and you're living in that box, that's what you're gonna know. And you need to get out of that fucking box and break this mental barrier that's been plaguing you for the entirety of your life. And that doesn't matter where you live, bro. I don't give a fuck where you live in this world. There is a box, there are parameters, there are borders that were given to you that you didn't set on yourself, but because you didn't know better, you had to follow up until you gained some sort of understanding of what you wanted to do with your life, maybe at 25, maybe a little earlier, give or take, maybe a little later, give or take, right? And so now that you've acknowledged that you're in a box, you need to be able to get out of that box. And if you're so deeply rooted and grounded by the age that you figure out that you don't want to be in that box, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. However, there's something called freedom of choice. And freedom of choice, I don't think, is bound to the exact fate that you were put on this planet and you're going to have to live through, and it's going to happen no matter what route you take. I don't believe that. I think your fate is built upon the independent choices that you have, and you end up making your fate. The box is you live in a small town in the middle of your country. You go to middle school, go to high school, you go to college. In that town, in that state, or in that province. You then meet a girl in that state, in that province of the college, where the college is. You meet a girl. You and the girl date for 4 years. You and the girl end up getting married after college because it was a great relationship. You love her. Okay, cool. You then have child. You graduate from said college. You get a job in said state. You then have child with said girl. And you now need to provide for the family that you've created in a small box, right? Or in this box that you live in. You are now raising a child in the same school system that you went through. She then turns into a college student. By this time, you're 40, 50. You understand? Your dreams are going to take so much energy out of you at that age that at this rate, why not just provide for your children? Why not just provide for your wife? Maybe you have several children you have to provide for. That's not an easy task. And so you fight, trying to keep your dream alive, but you can't because life is coming at you. You're being sunken down by the average norms that you've accepted for your life. I want you to understand that does not need to be your life. You can break the boundaries of any box. Any box they put you in, you can break and you can get out of. But you have to understand how to do it because there's a strategy, there's a science, there's an understanding of the world's balance of how you can make your dreams come to fruition no matter where you sit on the life timeline, right? You could be 50, you could be 40, 30, 20. Don't care. You can make shit shake if you want it to, but there is a specific way to do it without breaking and destroying your life. Because what happens? What did we speak about in a previous video? Murphy's Law. When you tell your mind and you tell yourself that, oh, I'm about to go do this, anything that can happen and go wrong will happen. And so you must be adaptable. And so what does that mean? You have to detach. You have to let yourself go. You have to allow yourself to release of what you previously thought as this is the only way I'm going to get to where I'm going to go, and allow life to flow and ebb you down to the right direction. Do you need to know where you're going? Yes, if you're in a dark tunnel, right? You need to know where the light is. You need to know where that specific aim, the goal, what is it that you want to do, but you don't want to attach anything or anyone to getting that goal, because what will happen is what? Life will force Murphy's Law out. That's just what's going to happen. You're going to make that objective. You're going to attach yourself to money, relationship, children, parent, whatever, and it's just not going to happen simply because Murphy's Law is going to show up in your life. But also, think about how the karmic rhythm of the earth works. The earth has a magnetic force. Every living being has a magnetic force, has a life force, has atoms around them. You have an energy to you. And what does life want to do? Keep balance. Where there's life, there's death. Where there is rain, there is sunshine. Where there is growth, there is degradation. You have to understand that. And once you start to understand that if you put so much force, imagine if the world is always reacting. If there is an equal and opposite force to every action, understand if you are forcing yourself down a certain lane because life is hard or life isn't giving you what you want, what's going to happen? If you are positively pushing, or what you perceive as positively pushing towards that light, what's going to happen? With understanding the definition we just spoke about, what will happen? There will be an opposite force that will come to destruct that, to make shit balance again. So when you're up and up and up and up and up and up and up, understand something's coming, bro. There's something, as long as you have that driving force of an attachment to something. If you allow yourself to ebb and flow like water and allow life to happen for you, because everything in your life is happening for you. But if you start to think, hey, life is happening to me, I need to fight it, you're going to get punched, bro. Life is going to come and smack the fuck out of you and make you realize like, yo, balance is required. Hello. Clock in. Balance is fucking required. So relax. If you're in a position in a box that you don't want to be in, have the light at the end of the tunnel and understand that maybe where you sit right now is to build you to get out. The only way to get out of your darkness is to allow the darkness to consume you so that you can understand how and what skill sets you need to know to get out. Don't overreact. Don't get emotional. Don't get caught up in these energy cycles. Don't get caught up into anything that may distract you from the light. Because while you're in the darkness, understand that there will be distraction. There will be things that you like and things that you don't like. And there are things that will ramp up your emotions to then make you feel or give this negative aura to you. And what does negative aura do? Connect with other negative aura. So you have to believe and understand that there's a light. Keep your eyes focused on a specific goal, that a purpose, something that is worth getting out of the darkness for, that is not attached to any singular thing. So not money. Again, what we just spoke about a second ago. If you're forcing yourself to get money, you're force. What's going to push that force to be back balanced? You're going to come back down. So relax. The goal will garnish the money. The gift that is given to you that you do very well easily is going to garnish the money for you. So it's just, what is the goal? If the goal is for you to be an amazing painter because the painting itself, the creation of something that was in your brain, which will then help somebody understand a problem that they're going through because they look at it, can then help you get the money that is required for you to execute that goal. Life will always give you what you need. You're never going to be in a place of lack. Life is happening for you, remember. So if life is happening for you to give you balance in your life, then cool, allow it to do so. And the only way to go upwards without a negative force is to give a positive general outlook on life. So if you're in a hole, let's go back to the square. If the square, you're in this box, you're in this hometown that you don't want to be in because it doesn't give you any positive vibes or fuel the goal of getting to the light that you're talking about, right? You sit in this box and you understand that you have a wife, you have maybe 2-3 children, and you're living in a house and you don't like your job, but you have a job nonetheless. You have to understand that the position that you sit in is good because it's fueling you no matter how you look at it. You're in a hometown that may be small, but there's no violence. Accept that. You have a wife, so you're not alone. You have children, so you have something to work for and help, teach, influence. You're in a position of power. You get to create the boundaries that your children sit in. So you have power. You're in a house that you may not like. However, the house keeps you from outside climate like the rain and any sort of outside disaster, weather-wise. The car that you drive may not be your dream car, but at least you're not walking. You have to turn what you think and feel into an understanding of gratefulness so that you're in balance, in the balance that life requires. You're understanding that although this is negative, there's also good within the negativity, and not let the negativity consume you, because the darkness will consume you and you will feel a place in a blanket of darkness over your life, and you will continue to attract other darkness, because that's just what it is. You can't sit into darkness, dark energy, and then expect positive energy to find you. No, there's positive energy out there, but you're going to attract what you think about the most. So just be grateful. Okay, good. Now you're changing the energetic field around you. Again, we all understand that there's a magnetic force around every living thing. Okay, cool. So if you change that magnetic force into a positive, what will happen? You're going to garnish and attract positive things to happen to your life and consume you. And that's what you want. So get to a place of gratefulness. And we've discussed this before. Getting to a level head of gratefulness will bring all of your wishes to fruition. This little box that you may be in might not be as negative as you might perceive, but you have to see it from a different angle. So get out of the negative force field that may be around you, step out for 2 seconds, and it might be hard, because many times what we're going to go through is we're going to go through a really big increase in life, right? And then at the top of that peak, since we're always driving for more, we're going to get smacked and it will come down. This is why this too shall pass. It's not a negative saying. It's just simply understanding that what goes up must come down. What is down must go up. Knowing if you're on a big incline and you've recently had a big decline or you've gone down, understand that the game is not over, because it could be worse. That's another one. It could be worse, but it's not. And it may be your rock bottom. And the only way to go up once you hit rock bottom is up. So breathe, look around. Hometown may not be where you want to be. The girl that you may be with might not be the best. The children that you have may be a little wild and rampant. That house that you live in might not be the most modern. That car you drive might not be the most flashy and newest, but at least you're living a life that you can operate and still function. And so don't let the world and this average set of norms force you into a negative energy, because you don't have what everything else is showing on the internet around you day to day, because we all want what we don't have. And so if we all want what we don't have, that means we're looking at the next man who is also looking at the next man who is also looking at the next man, and etc. The line goes on. So if you just sit down in your present life and understand that you should be grateful for what you got, then breathe. It gives you and grants you a position to breathe and understand that you still have time to do and execute on the things that you want, but you have to be in a position of balance. Balance is the only way. Detach from what you may understand and what you may think and what you might want even, and reconfigure it to understanding a goal that you want for your life, overarching goal that is not attached to anything. You are the goal. To execute on the thing that you want is the goal, not the money, not what you can do for your parent, not for the girl, not for the children, not for all of these things. No, simply relax, understand that your goal needs to be executed. To execute your goal, life will give you everything that comes and is associated with making sure that dream comes true. If the dream comes true, or if you have that sort of positioning in life, if you sit in your gratefulness, if you have the aim on the light out of the tunnel, and you understand that the little box that you're in may be teaching you something and helping you in many ways that you might not be grateful for, if you sit down and you understand those things, life will grant you the abundance so that your dream comes true. Have a full understanding of what that looks like and go after it every single day on executing the goal, not for the sake of what it gives you, but just by executing and providing positive light into the world. Life will grant you abundance. I promise you. The best way to do is become a servant of life. Become the servant of the world. The world needs painters. The world needs great producers. The world needs great people in general that have great ideas, that have great aspirations for life, and not based on the object of money, because money is just metal and cotton. So why would you focus on that? No, focus on garnishing your true life's worth and life's energy and the aura that you have, and producing something that any and everyone else can get something from. Not what you get from it, because that is a selfish way to go, and there's a piece of vanity in there. But that's another video. Take the time to understand that your current position is not your last. Your current position is definitely not your destination, but find your goal, be grateful for where you sit, and understand that life is happening for you, not to you.
Boy, Mr. Brown.